Hi, I'm Jacob with Channel Frederator, and we've caught our favorite facts about our favorite goofy goober SpongeBob and his amazing friends. Here are 55 facts about SpongeBob Squarepants. And before we get started, don't forget to click that bell icon to become a part of our notification squad. As is well documented, Stephen Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob Squarepants, has a degree in natural resource planning with an emphasis in marine resources. He used to teach marine biology at the Orange County Marine Institute. But Hillenburg wasn't just a science whiz, he also had a passion for drawing and created a comic book called the Intertidal Zone for the Institute. The show was originally going to be titled SpongeBoy Ahoy! If you're wondering why things were changed, it turned out that the name SpongeBoy was copyrighted by a mop. Patrick, our favorite dim, doofy starfish, was weirdly enough originally intended to be an angry bar owner. Continuing through the characters, despite his name, Squidward is not a squid. He's actually an octopus. So if he's an octopus, you're probably wondering why he doesn't have 8 legs. The answer is much more practical than scientific. Animators thought that having that many legs made him look too burdened, so they cut it down to 6. Hillenburg once told Entertainment Weekly that he wasn't too keen on celebrity guests starring on the show because he felt that comparisons would be drawn to The Simpsons, which according to him is a tough act to follow. Despite this, big-name stars like Ernest Borgnine and Tim Conway made appearances on the show as Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and the likes of Will Ferrell, Tina Fey, and the late Robin Williams, among others, appeared as themselves in the special SpongeBob Squarepants Truth or Square. Many of the show's plots were generated through the noun game. Story editor Meriwether Williams would have everyone write 3 to 6 nouns on small pieces of paper and then place them in a hat. Participants would draw one and then spend a minute writing a story based on the noun. A 12-foot replica of David Hasselhoff was constructed for his cameo in the SpongeBob Squarepants movie, and Hasselhoff got to keep the prop. Jill Talley, the voice of Karen Plankton, is married to Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob. I wonder how Plankton feels about that. Hillenburg had SpongeBob live in a pineapple because pineapples are a common motif in Polynesian crafts. He also thought that SpongeBob would like the smell of a pineapple home. Apparently, smell is an important sense for sea animals. Tom Kenny says the character's distinctive laugh was meant to make viewers think of the ocean. He based it on dolphin calls with just a touch of a seagull's shriek. To create SpongeBob's laugh, Tom Kenny repeatedly hits his throat with his hand while saying "ah," like this. I mean, I'm not Tom Kenny, but you get the idea. SpongeBob was always destined to work in the food industry. In fact, his first words after he was born were, "May I take your order?" The pilot episode Help Wanted was completed in 1997, but didn't air until May 1st, 1999. The song heard in Help Wanted is Living in the Sunlight by Tiny Tim. Even though Patrick and SpongeBob are besties, Squidward appears in more episodes of the show than Patrick. There was a rumor several years ago that Roger Bumpus, the voice of Squidward, would be replaced by Dan Castellaneta, the same actor who voices Homer Simpson. However, this was just a rumor, as the episode that would supposedly feature the change in voice actors doesn't actually exist. Squidward sometimes breaks the fourth wall by referencing 11 minutes. Episodes of SpongeBob Squarepants are approximately 11.5 minutes. You know that French accented voice that narrates how much time has passed in the show? It's an homage to Jacques Cousteau, who was a major influence on creator Stephen Hillenburg and his interest in marine biology. The first season of the show is the only one that utilized traditional cell animation. Beginning with season 2, artists inked, painted, and edited digitally. SpongeBob is ambidextrous, not really a surprise because it would be a huge help in Krabby Patty grilling efficiency. You've probably wondered who the mysterious man playing the live-action role of Patchy the Pirate is. Funnily enough, it's also Tom Kenny. SpongeBob has won over 62 awards, including 6 Annie Awards, 2 BAFTAs, 2 Daytime Emmys, 8 Golden Reel Awards, and 13 Kids' Choice Awards, and that's just so far. In its first 10 years, SpongeBob generated over $8 billion with a B dollars of revenue, and that figure is from almost a decade ago. Who knows how much more it's made since then? A recent study actually shows that it's accounted for more than 60% of Nickelodeon's earnings. No wonder it's still going. Despite the comments often made about a romantic spark between SpongeBob and Patrick, Hillenburg considers SpongeBob to be asexual. But shippers can still get excited about one romance. In the 2002 official guidebook, the SpongeBob Squarepants Survival Guide, SpongeBob accidentally reveals that he has a crush on Sandy. He quickly retracts the statement, but it's too late, dude, the damage is done. When recording his lines for the episode Suds, Tom Kenny was feeling just as under the weather as SpongeBob was. That is some top-shelf method acting right there. Despite the fact that it continues to air, creator Stephen Hillenburg has said that he and the original team for the show consider the first theatrical movie to be the end of SpongeBob's story. When pitching the show to execs, Stephen Hillenburg brought in a terrarium with models of the characters and set the pitch to Hawaiian music. Nickelodeon exec Eric Coleman said that the presentation was pretty amazing. In fact, the execs immediately wanted to see it again, both love because they liked it, and it was unlike anything they'd ever seen before. After the end of season 3, the original crew for the show largely disbanded. Some went to work on the first movie, and only a few returned to the series. Hillenburg and Derek Drymon left production completely, and writer Paul Tibbitt became the show's supervising director. This is often marked by fans as a major turning point in the show. Steven Hillenburg hesitated for over a year after Nickelodeon and Paramount Pictures first approached him to make the first SpongeBob film. His reluctance came after he watched The Iron Giant and Toy Story with his children, and worrying it would be difficult for SpongeBob and Patrick to do something so cinematically consequential. As told in the episode Friend or Foe, Plankton and Mr. Krabs were once friends and developed the Krabby Patty secret formula together. After a fight, the recipe was split in two, with Plankton's reading only a pinch of chum. And since Plankton isn't really a half measures kind of guy, he went on to create the Chum Bucket. In 2008, the animation crew began using Wacom Cintiq, electronic drawing pads, instead of traditional animation. Season 5 was the first season to use this new method. Series background designer Kenny Pittenger said, "The only real difference between the way we draw now and the way we drew then is that we abandoned pencil and paper during the 5th season." Hillenburg returned to make Spongebob Squarepants Sponge Out of Water. He had been in semi-retirement since finishing the first film in 2004. However, he still reviewed episodes during his absence and was credited as an executive producer for some episodes, such as Lost in Bikini Bottom. Everyone knows that SpongeBob's favorite hobby is jellyfishing, but very few people know that Squidward actually invented the sport when he traveled to the past in the episode SB-129. SpongeBob has also been transformed into a real-life drivable car by Toyota. They created the vehicle in a partnership with Nickelodeon by using their 2014 Highlander model and plastering the character's face on the exterior while giving it a yellow interior. It's a lot to take in, but it would be every fan's dream car. Speaking of weird SpongeBob products, Tom Kenny was made aware that yellow SpongeBob tampons exist during an interview with Den of Geek. SpongeBob is not the first fry cook at the Krusty Krab. He replaced an older fry cook named Jim after Mr. Krabs refused to give him a raise, and come on, Jim brought that on himself. Why would he expect Mr. Krabs to ever give anyone a raise? The shot of Bikini Bottom exploding and dying for pie was taken from the Operation Crossroads Baker atomic test conducted at Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll served as the site for over 20 nuclear tests, and not so coincidentally is the island located directly above Bikini Bottom. The epic jam at the end of Band Geeks is the 1986 song Sweet Victory by David Glenn Isley. The writers were originally gonna have the characters perform marching band music at a high level, but realized the idea wasn't nearly as funny as, an 80s power ballad. The song Loop de Loop from the episode Your Shoes Untied was written and recorded by the band Ween, one of Hillenburg's primary influences for the show. Their song Ocean Man also appears on the first film soundtrack. However, parents might not want to let their kids dig into the Ween discography all willy-nilly. The Ween tie-ins go even deeper. SpongeBob directly references the Ween song The Mollusk when he tells Gary, his own dear mollusk, to mind his wandering eye. When SpongeBob discusses how wonderful old people are in the original Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, the scene cuts to an old man in a sailor hat. That man is Don Newhouse, a beloved Nickelodeon animation studio security guard who passed away in 2015. Tom Kenny said he came up with SpongeBob's voice after hearing some random angry person yelling. Specifically, it was an embittered commercial actor who was auditioning for the role of a Christmas elf that Kenny overheard while waiting to audition for a different commercial. The show is showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. SpongeBob is still going strong and renewed through 2019. Early production sketches show that the characters were originally going to be human. To be fair, I probably would have checked out a show called Human Bob Human-Shaped Pants. You may remember the episode Reef Blower for its lack of voices. Actually, the episode was going to have dialogue, but because of faulty recording equipment, creators rewrote it to be entirely silent. Jules Engel, Hillenburg's mentor when he studied experimental animation at Cal Arts, passed away in 2003 during the first SpongeBob film's development. Hillenburg dedicated the movie to him, saying, "He truly was the most influential artistic person in my life. I consider him my art dad." Clancy Brown, the usual voice of Mr. Krabs, couldn't quite hit that high note at the end of the song in Christmas Who. The inimitable D. Bradley Baker, who voices Squilliam Fancy Son and Bubble Bass, stepped in and sang the note instead. The episode SpongeBob You're Fired sparked major controversy for criticizing labor laws as well as the food stamp system. The Hollywood Reporter stated that the episode may have had a political agenda, and as a result, the episode has been pulled and is rarely shown. Once again, I'm Jacob, and thanks for watching 55 Facts About SpongeBob Squarepants. What's your favorite thing about SpongeBob? Would you want to live in Bikini Bottom? And if so, where would you want to live? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to hit that bell icon to become a part of our notification squad, and of course remember, Frederator loves you.